This news update is brought to you by...
They ask us how we do it, how we outrun the world. They ask us, how does it feel to fly? How do we dive headfirst into the deep? And emerge victorious. They ask us if we're afraid, if we're nervous, or if we ever feel lonely, so far away from home. But the truth is, home is always right here with us. Get ready to witness the magic of the Olympic Games like never before.
Welcome to the Barbados Today Afternoon Update. It's Tuesday, August 16th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Political analyst Peter Wickham believes the tougher times are ahead for Barbadians. His comments come as Finance Minister Chris Sinclair gets ready to deliver the much-anticipated 2016 budget in a few hours. Wickham tells Barbados Today what the country should expect is not what it will receive in the 2016 financial package.
With an election months away, one would expect the type of budget that should be brought now would be the type of budget that would demonstrate a certain level of success of the policies and initiatives that were started 3 years ago, and essentially start to lay a platform for the calling of an election. Bear in mind that an election is due in 2 years, but certainly the understanding is that any time from now onward, it could theoretically be called. So the budget should really be presenting a level of comfort and also to demonstrate that the policies have worked, and now it's time to start what the Prime Minister calls Easter, because he's been reiterating very recently that Good Friday has passed and now it is Easter, and that we can begin to benefit. So I would say politically that's what should be happening. The reality, however, is that I think that we're in for some hard times, we're in for more austerity. The fact that the budget is coming in August, it sounds to me like an afterthought, and a situation in which the Minister of Finance has now realized that he has objectives that he has to meet and the things that he needs to do that were not done before. So I suspect there will be more austerity, more belt tightening.
Wickham also says it's a bad time for more tough measures.
It definitely will have a negative impact because, as I said, it speaks volumes to people who are paying attention about the extent to which the government was being honest and upfront when it said that, look, this is an 18-month stabilization program, and let's remember that. It's an 18-month stabilization program. People have an expectation that there will be some pain, that there were things that needed to be done. But this is not time to be imposing further austerity and so on, and I think that it is going to have negative political implications. But the reality is that the government is already unpopular. I think that public opinion polls done by organizations other than mine have demonstrated the unpopularity of government, and I don't think this situation is going to have to make it any better. In the final analysis, Fernella, there's nothing that we can do. The budget will become law. We will have to endure whatever hardships are brought upon us, and we can only hope that the medicine this time works in a way that the last 3 sets of medicine have not worked.
Meantime, the island's largest public sector trade union does not want the government to impose any new taxes on the workforce. A source close to the National Union of Public Workers tells Barbados Today that the union has already informed the finance minister that its members can't afford any additional taxes. They made the plea at a recent pre-budget meeting. The source also said that rather than impose fresh taxes, the union would prefer a cutback. It's also understood that some public workers are now paying income tax for the first time. The NUPW source is suggesting that the best way in which to stimulate the economy is to put more money in the people's pocket. Now, Finance Minister Chris Sinclair will deliver the budget at 4 p.m. in Parliament this afternoon. The Barbados Union of Teachers is still awaiting word from the Ministry of Education. The BUT, led by President Pedro Shepherd, staged a 2-day protest earlier this month over the deduction of salaries of some of its members who attended 2 union meetings earlier this month. Now, Shepherd tells Barbados Today the union is still sticking to its September 1 deadline for the ministry to respond.
The protest I wrote to the ministry. I am yet to get a response from that, but Like I said, at that time we were giving them until the 1st of September to begin the school year to say what it is that they intend to do. So that's where we are.
Former Chief Justice Sir David Simmons wants a steering committee established to examine recommendations to remove the bottlenecks in the criminal justice system. Sir David made it clear that there was no shortage of recommendations to deal with the vexing issue. He revealed that some 9 years ago, 102 recommendations arising out of a two-day symposium for judicial officers were submitted to government, and all that needs to be done was to act on those proposals.
Mechanisms and techniques and approaches that can be brought to bear on the system to make it function more efficiently. It involves also the human element. Beyond that, then, when that is assumed that after another 8 months, you get, as the agency turned down for assizes. When that case comes on, is again problematic because there is a long list of cases constituting a backlog, including murders, which for years have not seen the light of day before the court. But I don't want to continue that as a separate matter. Let me just say that recommendations were made, which everybody accepted, and the recommendations are there. What you need is a steering committee to take those recommendations, see what require legislative action, what require administrative action, what can be dealt with by the stroke of a pen from somebody in authority, and so on, and get them done.
Sir David Simmons was speaking on yesterday's Down to Brass Tacks. In sports, some updates now on our Barbadian athletes in Rio. We begin with the men's 200 meters. Running in heat 3, Levi Cadogan placed 7th in 21.02 seconds, while Roman Gittins, running in heat 5, came in 3rd place in 20.58 seconds. In heat 6, Burkhart Ellis Jr. came in 4th in 20.74 seconds, while in the women's, that is 100-meter hurdles, Kerry Beckles placed 6th in 13.01 seconds. Unfortunately, none of our Barbadian athletes made it to the next round, but we are proud of them nonetheless. And as expected, the world's fastest man, Jamaican's Usain Bolt, won heat 9 in 20.28 seconds.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Read all about it, read all about it. Get your paper. Only $2.25. Let's get your paper.
You again with that stale news from yesterday. I got the Barbados today on my phone, and I just get my news for free.
What do she?
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
To news from the region, ministers in Trinidad and Tobago remain tight-lipped on the 9 nationals held in Turkey. The Trinidadians were allegedly on their way to Syria to join ISIS when they were held. More in this report from TV6 News.
The Minister of National Security, Edmund Dillon, and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dennis Moses, won't confirm that the men in question, held in Turkey, were in fact on their way to Syria to fight for ISIS. Minister Dillon barely even confirmed that they're Trinidadians.
We are still awaiting confirmation through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of course, with respect to the personnel detained in Turkey. Until we have those official confirmation, it would not be wise for us to make any pronouncement.
It's been 2 weeks since the Turkish media broke the story of Trinidadians trying to get to Syria via Turkey. Minister Dillon says the Turkish government has not made a request to have them deported. But Minister Moses says government is always in contact with the embassies in London and Caracas. They're trying to verify the allegations.
Persons that are supposedly detained, they are in good health. Certain requirements need to be met to facilitate travel to Trinidad and Tobago should that be necessary, and we are in a position to so do.
On the international scene, the U.S. has made the single largest transfer from Guantanamo Bay during President Barack Obama's administration. We get more in this report from the CNN.
The Pentagon announced the single largest transfer of detainees out of Guantanamo of the Obama presidency. There are 3 men from Afghanistan, 12 from Yemen, 15 in all that are being transferred to the United Arab Emirates in the Persian Gulf. Now, these men had been under review for some time. Some of them had had their approvals approved some time ago, but now they have found a country willing to take them. It is not so much about the men themselves, though they stand alleged, accused of various crimes. It is about what happens now with Guantanamo. The Obama administration very committed to trying to get as many out of there as possible. It is now down to 61 men at Guantanamo Bay. In the height of it during the Bush presidency, over 600 or so.
And that's news and sports. But for the very latest, visit our website, www.barbadistoday.bb. Also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 99 on Flow TV and Mix 96.9 FM. There you can get all the very latest. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. Good afternoon.